Motorsport 411 presents
all the four- and two-wheeled action.
Motorsport 411 with Sean Cardovillis.
Welcome to Motorsport 411, your home for all your four- and two-wheel action in Africa. Coming up in this episode, the new committee for the WRC Safari Rally was unveiled this week. We get the reactions of the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, the Arts and Sports, Ababu Namwamba, his thoughts on the changes with just 3 months until the Safari Rally, and we speak to the Chairman of the Organising Committee, Carl Tundo, about his task ahead of the event in June.
All the four- and two-wheeled action. Motorsport 411.
Welcome to the show. So the new committee for the WRC Safari Rally was unveiled this week. The event was steered by the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, the Arts and Sports, Ababu Namwamba. I asked him for his thoughts on the changes with just 3 months until the Safari Rally.
I'm very confident. I'm confident we have a good team. It is a refreshed team, a good mix of some old heads who've been around for a while, some new fresh minds. But overall, people who really know rallying. I mean, people like Carl Tundo have been around rallying for forever. So I'm very confident that we have a good team. And as government, we are ready. And so, yes, we should be able to deliver an incredible Safari Rally that is also historic in the sense that it's marking the 70th anniversary of this amazing, special Kenyan heritage.
Phineas Kimathi is now Secretary. Are you looking for another CEO to replace him?
Phineas is the CEO of the rally, and the structure is such that the CEO is the secretary to the committee.
All right, so just to confirm, there is no change. Phineas is the CEO.
Yes, he's the CEO and secretary.
You mentioned about bottom-up. That now really is the signature for the new government. There should be quite a few changes from what we've seen in the previous two rallies.
Really, the changes are positive and they are for the benefit of the people. We want to see a more Kenyan flavor in this rally. We want to see more engagement. We don't want a rally that is foreign, that looks foreign, that feels foreign. We want Kenyans to feel part of it, and that's why we're insisting. We want to see more Kenyan drivers. We want to see Kenyan traders benefiting from the presence of the world. When the world comes to Kenya, then the Mamamboga, the Boda Boda, the Chondo Maker, the bead people. We have a beautiful project called the Ushanga Initiative that churns out beautiful beaded products. We want to see all those hustlers at the bottom of the economic pile having a piece of this pie.
That's the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, the Arts and Sports, Ababu Namwamba. Now, Carl Tundo is the chairman of the Organising Committee. I spoke to Tundo after the event and asked him if he felt confident with such a big task ahead of him in June.
Yeah, you know, the main thing is that the guys actually on the ground are still there. You know, the Guvi and all his team, we haven't changed any of that, and we don't intend to because they've done such a good job. So, you know, for us it's to come and try and add some accountability, I suppose, at the top.
In terms of the team, we can see a number of new people in terms of the team. We can see where the CS is coming from. How do you intend to work going forward with them?
Well, it's early days. We've just got our letters, so my intention right now is to find them all before they disappear, have our first meeting.
Flash, finally, of course, it's been quite a rise. When we last spoke to you at Vipingo, you know, you were looking forward to a rest and everything else. You know, from being a rally legend to Rallycross, now Safari Rally, for you, how do you feel about all this?
You know, as I said, I'm humbled and privileged to be given the position by His Excellency and the CS. So now it's just to make sure that, you know, we're on the ground running straight away and get this job done because it's important to us.
So that's the chairman of the Organising Committee, Carl Tundo.
All the four- and two-wheeled action.
Motorsport 411.
Now, a few weeks ago, I caught up with rally legend Carl Tundo at the Magical Kenya Ladies Open at Vipingo Ridge. We spoke about a wide range of topics, both personal and professional. Tundo was chairman of the task force set up by the Kenya Motorsports Federation chairman Phineas Kimathi. I started by asking him what came out of that task force.
It was a tough one. I mean, most of the changes that are in the NCRs this year have sort of been adapted. They were recommendations by us. There are a few changes that the Commission did, or after our recommendations. It's a tough one because you've still got to sort of, I feel, make sure that the safety is still there. Meanwhile, still trying to let these old cars, guys with cars that want to come and compete, and there's so many out there and so many people that want to participate. So we were just focused on trying to cut costs for everyone. Trying to also focus on sponsorships that are steered towards the actual drivers and competitors to cut down their costs to come and get in, rather than the organisers' side. So you keep some people happy, but other people might get upset by the changes that we've tried to implement. But hopefully, all in all, I mean, ultimately the competitors are the ones that we need to come out and compete. Hopefully the changes we made sort of are geared towards getting more people there, and then slowly sponsors will see that there's, it's a worthwhile thing to get involved in.
You've had time personally to probably have a think about why the entries are so low. People have been talking about cycles that, rally goes through. We've had this before. What are your personal thoughts? It's more than one factor. It must be more than even the economy as well.
No, it's more than that. I mean, there's definitely cycles that you have to go through to get to this point, and then the economy, but ultimately this has sort of been brewing for, I would say, the last 10 years with the, let's be frank, the lack of concentration given on the competitors themselves. And I think competitors get fed up and don't see the benefits of competing in an event that they feel, last on the list, when actually I feel that we should be first on the thought process on good events and things like that. I mean, that's ultimately, it's been, as I said, it's been brewing for many years, but we should have acted quicker than how we have. So hopefully we've seen the seriousness and how motorsport has deteriorated, so hopefully we can now build it back from where we are.
It was like literally a huge vacuum last season. The likes of you, Baldy, Eric Bengi, of course, with the Rise not being there as well. From your point of view, that vacuum, how did it hit you personally?
It's upsetting not being able to compete, but it is what it is. I didn't really get involved in much of the rallies last year, and I could see the vacuum and I could see the lack of sort of competitors there. But look, I don't know how to sort of explain my feelings towards it. I think I did in the, being asked to chair the task force to try and rejuvenate it. Maybe that's sort of where I need to focus, and the fact that Baldy and myself, we've been talking about it for probably about 2-3 years before that, and we carried on going for 2-3 years, but it just came to the point where there was absolutely no point in going to events where we were that had no charisma, had no excitement, had no and that's what it boils down to. Yeah.
You've always said that part of rallying is afterwards sit and have a few drinks with your competitors afterwards. Do you feel that's missing? You just find the rallies now, people come, they go. It's probably not the same as before.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the camaraderie is kind of lost, I would say. We don't hang around before, during, and after. There's less social aspect of it, and that's what I grew up. In my youth, when I started rallying, that was at the forefront of why I enjoyed it. There's definitely a part of that, but I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Maybe I'm just old school and enjoyed that side of it, but rather than just competing. I think that's another factor. Maybe there's and the fact that the fans were lacking in our events towards the end. There was diehard guys which we really appreciated. But if you think 10, 15 years ago when we had 80 entries and the amount of spectators were out there on the spectator stage, it was, it's something to be proud of competing in, rather than having 10 entries and racing around a farm. But that's the way rallying's going. So, you can't steer something that is heading in a direction that the rest of the world it's going in the same direction. So I don't know. It is what it is.
Probably a couple of factors in terms of when you said you don't have a competitive car. You sold your car to Hamza Anwar. From your point of view, would you get a car again if you feel the fire in your belly, in terms of possibly coming back to rallying if all factors are constant?
I think if all factors are constant, you do need to sort of build up another sponsor and sort of get that back in place. I can't do it. I can't afford it to do it competitively, on my own. So you'd have to build up a sponsor, get a car that is competitive, and for what it's worth, I feel that the R5 car kind of also was to the detriment of our rallying here, because they were sort of in a class of their own, and a lot of people felt that they were impossible to compete against. And the money to get an R5 is also an impossibility to 90% of competitors. So I would love to get that minty car and drive that I got for 2021 was just an awesome experience. I'm glad, kind of in a way, that was my last full season, because it was one of the best seasons that I've ever had, and got to drive in a phenomenal car. But I also felt that the Minty drive would be, from how well I did in that, I felt that potentially that they would keep me going, but that kind of ended. So I don't know. Yeah, I would love to rally, but I'm not going to do it just, I've got kids and things to think about now, so we maybe get them into them.
You got the Triumph. You seem to be enjoying classic rallying.
Yeah, I do enjoy classic rallying. I did the mini classic and we didn't do very well. The Triumph's not that strong a car, so where we went racing in the mini classic was not conducive to keeping my car in one piece. It's not really an excuse, but it was a rough rally. So I'm hoping that the organisers of the classic at the end of the year think about, these are old cars, and hopefully they put on a smoother event. They've commented that they are going to put on a smooth event, so we'll gear up towards doing that. I love the Triumph though, so it's just part of me. So yeah, hopefully we can tweak it a bit more to be more reliable.
There is some young talent coming through, the likes of Jeremiah Wahome, Hamza Anwar. Your thoughts on some of the young talent coming through?
Yeah, it's great to have the young talent. They're going to take over rallying and hopefully keep it going and keep it exciting. And that's always what we look for. The amount of support we can give them is crucial in this day and age, because they need to be in competitive cars and they need the backing. So it's wonderful to see these young kids sort of racing. We need more kids racing. We really do. It's great. It would be great having sort of 20, 30 under the age of 30 or 25. It would just be that's what sort of you'd aim to sort of try and achieve in reviving motorsport. And I genuinely feel through sort of autocross is doing well, and if rallycross can bring in these guys, and then they move on to rallying, after that, so it's all good.
Billy, your son, we see him at the odd autocross. First of all, does he love motorsport like you? I guess it's a case of them going into it rather than you pushing them.
Yeah, 100%. I've always suggested that they should try out motorsport, obviously, but for For Billy, it's a new thing. He loves it. He loves his buggy and he loves racing. But I'm not pushing him. You know, at the moment he's 10, so he's loving his team sports at school and being in sort of teams, and I get that. So hopefully later on he can, if he wants to, he can sort of knuckle down to full championships. But at the moment he kind of performs really well, just doing the odd event here and there, and there's no pressure on him as well. So it's good.
Your dad, Frank, still very active with motorsport. We saw him competing in New Zealand recently as well. Do you see yourself going along that sort of path? He's still enjoying it, going past 70, enjoying his motorsport, doing the odd international rally?
Yeah, I would love to, but I think for some reason I feel that he just never ages, and I don't think I'll be that mobile or active at that age. So I'll do it as long as I can, and hopefully he's still not racing by the time I'm at that age. Anyway, no, it's great to see, and he's organising. Him and Mum are organising this classic rally for Jim Heday's memorial. So they're still seriously active, and there's Tash who's also helping out with the organisation of that. So it's a good motorsports kind of keeps us all together and active together, which is great.
Quick word about Jim Heatherhayes. You guys were extremely close.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's really, really sad. I mean, he is probably the icon of our generation rallying, but also before that, he prepared cars for my dad. He raced. You know, I remember as a kid he was doing exactly the same thing for my dad as he did for Al and for myself. It is it's super sad, but what a legend, and the amount of people he's helped sort of throughout it all is phenomenal. He'll be truly missed in the rallying circuit, not having him sort of being grumpy in the corner. No, it's sad, but we'd smile on him.
Two other people we paid tribute to, unfortunately you were missing, and we'll talk about that, the Motorsports Awards, because you won the President's Award, the ASN President's Award. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But Ken Block, he raced last year at the Classic Rally, and you were there as well. Just a quick word about Ken Block.
He's an interesting character, actually, to be honest. He was a great driver, obviously, typically American and fast, and it's sad for the world, because he kind of did start a new form of sort of what's it called, Gymkhana style racing and YouTube videos and things like that. But I didn't really get to speak much to him during the event, but he seemed like a decent fella. So yeah.
He was around, all through the period as well. Another motorsports personality we lost as well, Asad Khan as well. Just a few words about him.
Yeah, really sad. I mean, Asad has been rallying, was rallying with me even when I started. I remember him and his brother taking out an engine of their standard Subaru up in Eldoret and work overnight because I'd blown my engine just on a practice. So they love motorsport. It's just, again, it's a super sad scenario to know someone that has passed. Yeah, it's just, it's not nice. I just don't like it. I don't enjoy it, and I don't enjoy everything that has gone with it. So yeah.
Mentioned about the ASN President's Award. You and Tim recognised for all you've done in motorsport. You were not there at the awards, but it's some sort of honour for everything that you've done in motorsport.
Yeah, I do. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek. I wasn't there because they changed the date from the week before to the week after, quite late on, which was frustrating, to say the least. We've got to plan ourselves, so that's the only reason I wasn't there. Very happy to be acknowledged for what we have done in motorsport and for bringing in Rallycross. I think that's the main reason for it. I just appreciate it. It's nice to be acknowledged.
That's rally legend Carl Tundo speaking exclusively to Motorsport 411. We'll be back.
Motorsports 411 with Sean Cardovillis.
So that's it for the show this week. Our thanks once again to the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, the Arts and the Sports, Ababu Namwamba, the Chairman of the Organising Committee for the 2023 WRC Safari Rally, Carl Tundo. As always, a big thanks to Big City Studio. I'm Sean Cardovillis. See you next week.